All right, you guys. Hello. Once again, I'm sorry this is so late, but this takes me a long time, y'all. And I'm just going to say, if I don't get it that same night, it'll definitely be Monday morning, but I'm always shooting for Sunday night. You know, I'm a single mom. I have a daughter. I still have housework and everything else. So I just wrapped this up, so let's get to it. So for those that watched Self-Love Sunday reading this morning, it was pretty much this huge message about grounding ourselves, balancing. I mean, you guys even saw me. I was off my balance too. It's one of the first things I said before we were, pulling the cards and whatnot. So what had happened was that the Earth crew here needed to ground themselves real big. And then the air signs needed to have mental clarity. The water signs needed to master their emotions. And the fire sign there was just this huge ego prick, right? So that's not saying the fire signs that do actually are resonating elsewhere. So this is just what happened this morning, okay? So I'm going to show you guys what it's like to absorb that energy and 111 and what it's like to actually resonate with it. So we are going to talk about grounding ourselves through resonating with the same energy that the universe is in versus depolarizing yourself continually to unresonate with the energy of the universe, okay? So if we are looking at what we got pulled out this morning in that crazy way, wasn't that? This is what we're looking at, okay? So we had earth, air, and water. And earth needed to ground themselves through grounding. Air had mental clarity, and water needed to master their emotions, right? And to be honest, this is all completely in our bodies anyway, and this is pretty much what they stand for. And this is why all four need to be balanced within too. So this isn't just for what happened this morning, you guys. This is just could be inside one person together. There could be where their fire energy is just not in the right place, so that's another spot too. I thought about that today while I was doing this. So here's Jehovah's sword coming down to divide it all, right? Because it doesn't resonate. And this fire sign, who was completely took over by snake energy in the negative, was an ego narcissistic snake. And his problems were therefore being absorbed through all of those swords, all right there, all of the emotional cups, all of that, onto these three properties here, these three elements here, right? Well, look at what's happening when it's reflecting off of the sword. Right? You're getting that fire energy even though you don't want to. You're getting that fire energy and absorbing it even though you don't want to. And what do you think is going to happen here, honey, when this gets all absorbed too? This is going to turn just as red as the fire sign, and then this is all going to be completely negative. When Jehovah's saying, we got to make a change here. So this is what it looks like when we're really taking a deep look at what those chirographs were, like when I first did the math and science videos. And so each one of these is a separate chirograph. And when you're reflecting this negative energy, it is going to be blocked. It'll be rejected silver, right? Like we talked about last Self-Love Sunday. And it'll be consistently rejected, even though Jehovah's energy is trying to get in here no matter what. It's reflecting off of his sword, but it can't be recepted. It cannot be received because there is not a resonating opening with it. 3:33 right there on the clock, which therefore causes snake eyes because it's coming out from all angles, right? Which this is death. This is the devil energy, the snake energy, the tet back in Hebrew, which is the snake eyes, to put a snake down in, the basket in the clay. So another thing is you'll see that this energy is just going to continue in this closed connection, okay? This energy is going to continue in the closed connection. This energy is going to close connection, and this energy is going to close connection. So you guys, look at how much you're limiting yourself here just by staying in that emotion, just by staying in that mental anxiety, just by staying in that stress completely where you're so imbalanced. This is why you all need to really ground yourself. And trust me, honey, I need to do this too. Okay, I literally today needed to do this too. I am so stressed out. It's not even funny. And I keep myself doing this work because, I'm guided to. So moving on. That'll give you guys a little, picture of what it looks like to be limiting yourself energetically right here at 4:44 on the clock. So something that I wrote down that really spoke out to me, Jehovah had me listen to with my ears, what I said earlier this morning at the self-love reading, was we need to change the love of our flesh, the flesh's avenue, the communication to the love of our spirit. So, y'all, I've never done this in my bedroom. I'm usually out by the whiteboard, but I decided to do this. So we're going to look at this side really quick. Here you go. This is your flesh state of mind. And we're going to look at this like this is earth, air, and water, right? And here's the fire over here. But we are actually going to flip it, okay? This is all going to be negative, like it is reflecting from that sword already in the previous photo. But instead of fire, this is going to be spirit, which is positive. And this right here is the little hourglass of not communicating properly. So when we're not communicating properly and we're in our flesh state of mind, because we have yet to figure out to ourselves that the flesh and the spirit are different, okay? Outer, inner, outer, inner. And in our outer, it's all that water, that memory, right? So here we are holding fear in our flesh state of mind. I'm just going to read them down. I know y'all can't see them real big, but trust me, it's all here. 6 to 11. Fear, emotional, skin equals water, and water has memory, and fish. Okay, just keep that in mind. Fish. Unresonatable. It's unresonatable, heavy energy, so therefore it's going to keep you down and burdened and limited. Shadows, burdens here, anxiety, CPTSD, PTSD, traumas, sins, regret, criminal acts, heartache, addiction, family hatred, greed. All that is not required of you to love God and to be accepted by God in the universe, Jesus himself, right? None of this is required by you, okay? Now, what's required of you is love, inner peace, strength, faith, hope, wisdom, and it's all resonatable. So everything here just turns into light, which is required of you. Okay, so if you're not projecting light, 7-11 right there on the clock, thank you, Jehovah. If you're not projecting light, you're projecting negatively. If you're not projecting positively, you're projecting negatively, right? Like we talked about today. So with that being said, something I want to kind of put in perspective for you, for those who don't necessarily need a visual. I love visuals. I'm a visual learner, and I also understand that while I'm seeing your light and I honor it, I have to understand that you are going to learn differently. You will learn different than anyone else, and some of you are a visual learner like me, or some of you, I can just say it and you're super smart and you got it. But those of us who have suffered brain fog before, it's a lot harder for us. So bravo for you for your inner strength. But this is why I have visuals. Now, another reason why I want to bring this up is because we talked about need to change the love of our flesh avenue, the communication, to the love of our spirit. Hello? That ain't even love, is it? So let's talk about this. Need to change the blank of our flesh avenue, the communication, to the love of our spirit. And y'all know I like my visuals about what our TLC chakra gardens look like when they're burdened. Look at those embers. It's just a pile of rock shit sitting there in your soul, limiting you. Therefore, you cannot resonate. Okay? So I'm just going to do a couple of these, but I want you guys to think about this. Need to change the PTSD of our flesh avenue communication to the love of our spirit. Need to change the self-harm tendencies of our flesh avenue's communication to our spirit. Need to change trauma. Need to change ego, hate, emotions, self-worth, which isn't what today is all about. Narcissisms, addiction of our flesh avenue communication to the love of our spirit. So now when we say that, it just makes more sense. Like, that's not love. And why the hell would I want to limit my spirit like that? But this is what our brain looks like. It's mental squish on fire when all of this negative energy is trying to get into its weak spots, to its weak avenues. And this is why it's so important to wake up, master the emotions, have this mental clarity of head over heart, heart over head, and able to really ground yourself from the inside out, because you're treating your brain like this, you're treating your soul like this, and nothing in your powerhouses is resonating. And you don't want to know what that looks like when it don't resonate? Yeah. I will show you. And I think I messed this up. Okay, this one's meant to be here. So, now when this don't resonate, let's see. So you've got two cells here, right, that we've talked about. And they're not going to be able to divide and mass create through energy, through God's creation, because this devil energy is blocking it. I mean, I already told you guys that. I already showed you that right here. Okay, so it's blocking it, and it's going to get rejected back out this way. And there is that vicious cycle where this cell will not even close off. There's no close connection there because it physically and physiologically will not resonate if there's not a balance. If two magnets cannot resonate together, if they do not have the same energy, right? So now, if you look up here, this is the snake in the shadows energy, and I did God's light up here, and I turned this plus and this momentum of air, this communication going positively now to really accelerate. And here it goes. And this little cell here is going to be a polynomial sphere guiding itself again with all of this light, like at the beginning of the math and science that I showed. If you go back to the 11:11 here on the clock, if you go back to the very beginning when math and science was a huge thing for me first. So So what I wanted to show you is that as this is being rejected back, here is this energy, and it's turning, and it's expanding through illumination. And what does it look like to you guys? To me, it looked like an anchor, a sword, and a cross. Okay, it's accelerating through positive manifestation. Well, this one's dead blocked because snake energy cannot and will not ever be able to resonate positively. Okay, so right now, this is what you look on the inside here, honey, when you need to be doing this if you want any of this to change. Okay, so speaking of change, spiritual awakening, when you start to ground yourself, when you start to get your energy current flow from the inside out, as within, so without, as above, so below, manifesting in the positive direction, what do you think is going to happen? Well, here's Jehovah and his sword and his energy here saying, okay, with all my might, I'm going to find your guys' asses and wake you up, right? So here comes the spiritual awakening where even the fire sign is starting to bend out of its negative energy. You know, that root chakra is now going into the orange and now going into the yellow. And now it's really starting to bend by Jehovah's force itself. And it's trying to bend in the positive direction while this one's still trying to bend too out this way. And then it's going to flip. It'll always flip when it's doing so. It would have to, because it won't resonate, right? The weight of it will be lighter than what it's supposed to be because it's heavy. If you light like a fire, if you light a candle, there's no flame shadow on the wall. So there's not going to be any type of heaviness at all. So when this heaviness gets taken away, it's just going to go and it's going to flip. Okay. If y'all go back to the things that I've seen, it's on that trending video between twin flame halfway through. I show you guys what I've been seeing outside, and that's exactly what it does from the great wheel reflecting downtown Seattle on a glass panel on a window. So you guys are just going to have to go back and pew and pew. And actually, you know what? I might just upload it after this again, just so it's not so buried. So, but what's going to happen is Jehovah's just trying with all of his might to get this to really balance in while your mental state is changing and that clarity is coming, while you're grounding yourself and you're feeling a lot lighter, while you're mastering your emotions and your flesh state of mind and working to your spiritual state of mind. So nothing therefore feels anything anymore. You just got to figure out what you want to do, right? And then when that happens, Jehovah is going to change it and it's going to flip like I told you. And then what do these look like, you guys? This is what's going to happen. And you're going to be completely balanced, enlightening along the way. You're going to have this attitude of gratitude because you've got this little God's eternal all combusting flame lit under your butt to keep you in the right direction. Okay. So I want to show you guys another part of this to this whole tarot aspect, right? So this morning we talked about, I need to blank to start talking to your true self, their self too, which is you. So there's two sides of you that aren't talking and aren't clicking, your male energies and your female energies, like we talked about this morning in the heart space card number 24. So those of you, I need to ground myself. I need to balance myself mentally. I need to master my emotions. I need to grow up, hence the fire dude. But it also could be, you could need to grow up, and I don't mean it harshly, it's just the truth. However, it also could be any one of these, because when you go through spiritual awakening, sweetheart, it doesn't matter what element you're representing, because we're all included. This is all included in spiritual ego death. This is all included in coming home to yourself, 1511. This is all included in spiritual awakening, having this brand new you. It doesn't matter. All of this needs to come apart, because this is how you're going to balance the earth, the air, the water, and the fire. And then when that happens, those cells, these ones here, will therefore be able to resonate, okay? And you'll get this resonation where another eye is going to come into play, the Fool, the Aleph, okay? The start of the tarot here, which is the beginning of the journey, because it's brand new. Here was this judgment that came into play, and Jehovah approved it, closed out that cycle, and now a new cycle is beginning, right? So you've got the eye. This is a complete eye. It's an eye from this direction, and it's an eye from this direction, and it always keeps it going, this little nucleus, right? So there's the Aleph, and then the Fool that we talked about. Aleph is the Hebrew letter for A, pretty much, is the beginning, but it's not, it's more of like an N. It's, you know, there's no vowels. And this is why I'm teaching you guys Hebrew, so get used to it. So then the second part of the tarot, the second journey, which is really the first, it just depends, because this is a 0 and a 1. Here comes the tent or the house. So now it's starting to form down this cell, right? The Magician card is going to air, and it's going to continue this momentum here to build this cell structure, which is the 1 to 2, the second step here, reflected. Then the third step is going to come in with this Gimel, the camel that I've been teaching you guys about, which is, you know, the back of it, the foundation, the balance, because this is the high priestess energy now reflecting on both sides here. And this shell, our flesh, is really starting to build now. Do you see? And when this comes into play, you're going to have this inner know inside of you to just really keep this all going. The third step here, the 3 to 4, is the Empress, you know, which is the door, the Delet back in Hebrew, which is door is a passageway for all of this air to go through. And if this is already having so much momentum, how much more do you think this Empress is going to give, as she's the mother? She is reproducing. She has her Venus energy, you know, so this is how the whole cell is built, this whole human energetic soul, really, with how tarot is reflected. And it goes on way more than that, and we'll get into it, because I don't want to make this all about math and science, but I have to. God is math and science, and so I have to bring it into the play. Now, if you reflect back on the first Self-Love Sunday, 3 pillars, 1 pole, I'll put it down in the description box probably. We talked about sin and shin. Now here's your 3 pillars, 1 pole, and you're not going to be able to complete it. You're not going to have positive judgment in your favor if you have a closed connection with the snake energy inside. You have to open up the connection for all of your sin, shin, 3 pillars, 1 pole to work. Reflection of 3 pillars, 1 pole, sin and shin. Positive judgment or negative judgment is what I wrote. Okay, we'll get deeper into this. I'm just giving you guys a little sneak peek, because this is huge. Okay, so now that you've been able to ground yourself, really take a good look in, let Jehovah Yeshua in, we're going to go back to this. This isn't resonating, right? But this is now resonating. So God's light has now woke your butt up, and your third eye has come into play. And this is you. This is the truth. This is Jehovah. This is everything that keeps it going. Who do you think that middle piece is? Yeshua the HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. And this also backs me up and confirms me on Luke 12:49, not peace but division, because it's 2 against 3 at all times. 5 and 1, which I'm still fighting that. So 5 and 1 is right here. We're going to get more into that. I'm going to do an extended math and science video on this, you guys. Stay tuned if you're really interested in it, because it's a lot bigger than you universally think. I'm not a good winker, so I hope that made you guys laugh. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up really quick. I'm going to show you a couple cards out of my new deck that I made, and then I'll be back for a, general divine gems or a twin flame reading. We'll see what Jehovah wants, but I know I'm going to have to do a reading tonight. All right, so the only scripture that Jehovah led me into the Bible to, because I literally just started working straight down here. Excuse me, really quick, actually, because I wanted to show you guys this too, right? Okay. because I wrote fish. Fish was also on there. So think about how much water is here, right? But when I was doing this, I'm like, wow, if this was still turned this way, it would look like a whole damn fish. Here's the ribs, the gill, the fins, you know, the air coming in. This is the head of it and the body. And so just think about that when I talk about power manifestation. And when you teach a man to fish, he will forever eat. You teach a man to pray, he will ever be abundantly blessed. Okay. But if you don't, you got to be careful what you fish for, right? So that was why I wanted to bring that up. The only scripture that he had me, I just had my hand on top of the Bible. I was just thinking about him because we literally just went down and started pumping this shit out for tonight. You know, I mean, I've got way more to show here. Okay, this is way more. This is what I've been working on probably since April, May, June, and it's finally starting to come back around. I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek. Just think of chakras. Whose chakras are these? Just think for a second. So, with that being said, I think that was the end of it all. Yeah, okay. So the only scripture that he had me do, I had my hands on the Bible and I was just talking to him. I'm like, okay, God, I think we got this wrapped up. I just got a lot of coloring to do now, which I love to color. I opened up right to this page. I looked at the left page first because I'm trained to look at the left page first, 22 even. And nothing was jumping out at me. And then my eyes went right over to this scripture. And I just had that feeling that, that I told you guys about earlier. And this was it. So Acts 26, 16, 18 here. And it was in red, which is why I wrote it in red. And actually, you know what I'm going to do because you all can see through that. Ooh, this is going to be your challenge this week. So give me just a second. Okay. Ooh. Now get up and stand on your feet. I have appeared to you to appoint you as a servant and as a witness of what you have seen of me and what I will show you. I will rescue you from your own people and from the Gentiles. I am sending you to them to open their eyes and turn them from darkness to light and from the power of Satan to God, so that they may receive forgiveness of sins and a place among those who are sanctified by faith in me. So to turn them from darkness to light and from the power of Satan to God. So he's telling you right now, if it's not God's power in you, it's Satan's power within you. And that's not good. That's no bueno. And then therefore you will receive that electronic abundance forgiveness energetically. You will receive it if you can change your power from Satan to God, because it is in him. Because it is in him. We are a reflection of him because we are him. It is in him. So this week's challenge here is challenge yourself to change the avenue at each situation of negative energy and or emotion this week. Okay, do it by each situation that comes along that's harboring any bad negative energies here. And then when the next time it happens, don't worry about this past situation. Oh, this happened on, Tuesday. But then Thursday, this happened. It doesn't matter. Just each day, each situation. That's what I want you to do. At that time, distract the now with a new activity, spontaneity, your favorite snack, an extra nap, fresh air, etc., whichever it is. Because grief is just love with nowhere to go. But you are full of it, full of all this love. So trust me, I dare ya. You're going to find that when you unpack that grief and you change the avenue of communication from your emotional state to your spiritual state, it's going to come on out of you and come back into you in the positive. Okay. It's not going to feel heavy anymore because you're not holding it in your emotions, which is memory, right? Water and memory. Okay. So I really, really hope that you guys have enjoyed this Self-Love Sunday, because I really did too. And what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to show you guys my deck. Now, like I said, it's pretty big. I still have like this much left on the table to finish because I bought 2 packs and I've made these. They're not pretty, like I said, but I've spent a lot of hard time on them for your comfort and my comfort, and to have this guidance alone. And it's literally so many scriptures, so much scriptures, you know, Proverbs, all of this, that Jehovah really just spoke out to me. You know, I've been working on them. I mean, I think Jason and I got these decks probably over a month ago, I would have to say, maybe more like 2 months now. So I've been working on these for a really, really long time. I also have an angel numbers deck coming and an energy deck coming. So I really hope that you guys are going to love them. So what I'm planning to do with this deck is I'm going to call it Eat the Word. Eat the words, eat the word, because we're supposed to eat the word 3 times a day, and some of us really struggle with it. And so when I feel called to use these cards here, I'm just going to pull 3 or however many Jehovah brings out, and then that way we are both, our butts are covered with eating the word 3 times a day. Okay, so I got your back, and I hope you got mine. Please like, share, and subscribe. All right, you guys, let's see. So what I'm going to do, because these are pretty big, so, oh, you know, they just come out like that. Jehovah, we are all done with Self-Love Sunday now. And if you could share just some of these words here that you feel would really, really be good for our Self-Love Sunday message that we've worked really, really hard on together. Please protect my energy and theirs as we go through this, and just really feel ourselves for a moment. Really feel about what the grounding is. Really feel the inspiration from you after what you had me draw today, about how important energy really is and how much we count on it. It's not just food, you know, it's this energy all around us, as within, so without, as above, in my nose. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Jehovah. You know, it's everywhere. It goes in our ears, our eyes, our skin, everything, you guys. So this is why it is so important, and I accept you in any given way, and I hope that you guys can really, really stay and learn together, because you are the salt of the earth. Thank you, Jehovah. Okay, so we've got a couple minutes here till 30 minutes, which is great. I was really hoping to time it for 30 minutes anyway. So let's just get a couple of these cards. Jehovah. Oh, okay. He says to lay them out. Lay them out, baby. Lay them out. All right, Jehovah. Then I just want you to pick through my hands. Just pick through my hands. Please and thank you. Bring a couple cards here, however many you feel. And to really give us some great guidance about today's Self-Love Sunday message. This one. One more, Jehovah. This one. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah, we might just pick them. We might just pick the cards like that next time. We'll see. All right. So what do we have here, guys? So the first one here, Mark 3:23-27. How can Satan drive out Satan? If a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. If a house is divided against itself, it cannot stand. And if Satan opposes himself and is divided, he cannot stand. His end has come, and in fact, no one can enter a strong man's house and carry off his possessions unless he first ties up the strong man. Then he can rob his house. Wow. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, wow, Jehovah. Oh, wow, you guys, look at this. Look at that here. Literally. Wow, Jehovah. Look at. Carry off his possessions unless he first ties up the strong man. Then he can rob his house. So he's robbed you of your grounding. He's robbed you of your mental clarity. And now he's robbed you of your mastering of emotions. Wow, Jehovah, what a beautiful scripture. Thank you. Okay, what else here? Psalm 116:10-11. I believed, therefore I said, I am greatly afflicted. And in my dismay, I said, all men are liars. Wow. Proverbs 11:27. He who seeks good finds goodwill, but evil comes to him who searches for it. Wow, yes, thank you, Jehovah. Okay, Psalm 119. Oh my gosh, you guys, he brought out the mem. Wow, you guys, the hanged man. This is Taurus, earth energy here. But this is also, this whole lesson on the Hanged Man is this spiritual limbo, but it's because water has memory. I told you guys that this morning. And now he's bringing out the whole Psalm. The Psalm 119 for this, 97 through, oh, I forget, 104. Okay, so Psalm 119 Mem, which is the water, the Hanged Man. Wow, Jehovah. And I literally been saying water has memory and therefore it's heavy. Okay, we're not going to make 30 minutes here, but that's okay. Oh, how I love your law. I meditate all day long. Your commands, oh, excuse me. How I love your law. I meditate on it all day long. Your commands make me wiser than my enemies, for they are ever with me. I have more insight than all of my teachers, for I meditate on your statutes. I do have more understanding than the elders, for I obey your precepts. I have kept my feet from every evil path so that I might obey your word. I have not departed from your ways, for you yourself have taught me. How sweet are your words to my taste, sweeter than honey to my mouth. I gain understanding from your precepts, therefore I hate every wrong path. Wow. You speak it, Jehovah. Philippines 3:21. Philippines. Who will transform our lowly body that it may be conformed to his glorious body, according to the working by which he is able to even subdue all things himself. Right here. He does it every day, y'all. 32:11. All right, what else is here? Let's see. So Mark 7:6, this is supposed to be in red. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are but rules taught by men. Yep. Wow, Jehovah. Luke 19:46 in red as well. It is written, my house will be a house of prayer, but you've made it a den of robbers. Wow. Rob his house. Y'all. Wow, Jehovah, you would just love this Self-Love Sunday just as much as I do, don't you? Thank you so much, Jehovah. There's no way that out of all those cards, I would have just picked these two. My goodness. All right, so this last one here, you guys. Luke 18:27. What is impossible with men is possible with God. What is impossible with men is possible with God. Yes, amen. Thank you, Jehovah. Last one, Revelations 22:13. I am the Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Sure is. Thank you so much, Jehovah, for being here with us and showing us this lovely self-love message today right here at 33:33. What a great way to end it, because good things are coming. Thank you so much. I hope to see you soon. I cannot wait to see you back for next Self-Love Sunday. And please don't forget to do your challenge. I'm here for you. I would be honored to talk to you and help you in any way. And please let me know. Drop a comment below if you'd like a prayer. I would be honored to pray for you from my heart space to yours. Love you. Wounds into light.